Welcome back to more Powerboating in Paradise adventures with members of the Florida Powerboat Club. This is Stu Jones, and we are moving rapidly through this Key West Poker Run 2019 feature coverage, now opening up episode number 7 as we continue to follow Poker Run teams numbering 269 registered Poker Run teams from all over the United States, Canada, and as far away as Europe for this big annual event that happens every November, traveling from Miami through the scenic Florida Keys to Key West, which is completely sold out because we are joining forces with the Race World Offshore Powerboat Racing Championships, and we have filled up that town with a bunch of weekend warriors who live and love powerboating. Before we get started, let's thank our sponsors. These YouTube episodes are brought to you by Mercury Racing Wide Open and by offleaseonly.com, the nation's used car destination. In addition to our 2020 series sponsors pictured here, we'd like to recognize all of these Key West 2019 feature sponsors as seen here on our official event masthead. This is the artwork for our official souvenir t-shirts, posters, and banners. These sponsoring partners play a vital role, and it's through their support that Florida Powerboat Club can produce this signature Key West Poker Run event. So let's just have a quick recap on our last episode, number 6, where we were joining the powerboat teams. At first, we featured a powerboat parade segment through the Rickenbacker Causeway, which gave us a bird's eye view of a wide variety of powerboats that are entered on this signature Poker Run event. Then we continued to Grove Harbour Marina for a Poker Run checkpoint, where we picked up a bonus voucher, and there were dozens of teams doing a quick touch-and-go stop as they picked up their card, and it gave our cameras a front row seat to these amazing powerboats and these fun-loving Poker Run teams. Of course, we got in on some high-speed action with some roaring engines as the teams took flight on Biscayne Bay, heading southbound to Key Largo and beyond. So we are now circling back to the docks at Grove Harbour Marina, where these lovely FPC girls are handing off poker cards, starting with Jesse and Stephanie Newman from Minnesota in this brand new Nortec 450 powered by 5 Mercury Racing 400Rs. What an amazing Poker Run platform this boat is. One of their newest models, but certainly not their flagship because they build a 55, a 56, and an 80. And it's always great to see Scott Rosenbach and his crew. It's usually in a big cigarette 42, but today it's an MTI 48, recently prepped by Performance Boat Center, which only makes sense that lovely Alicia from Performance Boat Center is picking up that lucky Poker Run card. And I just want to point out that having Alicia pick up Scott's card may not have worked out for him on this Key West run, but I can assure you in February at the Miami Boat Show Poker Run, it won his team first place. And the bikinis are out today, guys. It may be November, but it's a warm November as lovely Christine reaches over from Louis Sotero's 38-foot Donzi center console to pick up the card for Party of Threes. This is a big change for Louis. He had a 38-foot cigarette Top Gun for quite some time, but he decided with all his family and friends, well, he better have a center console. And that comment would be a perfect segue to this next boat, which is Bodacious 2. Neil and Cindy Campbell. There's Cindy reaching over, getting her bonus voucher and all her lovely ladies on board. Guys, get used to it. This is how this team rolls. Beautiful ladies, all decked out, nice outfits all the time. And the guys, well, you know, they just sit back and enjoy the show. And let's say hi to this Key West Poker Run veteran. This is Ray and Christine Grimaud from New York and their team Big Shot. It's a 42-foot Mystic powered by triple Mercury 350 Verados. They've had the boat, wow, time flies. So this is their 4th year in a row doing the Key West Poker Run in this 42-foot Mystic. And for you guys who love these old school cigarettes, well, here you are, Big Bad and Blue. Bobby and Lynn Kieber from the Florida Keys are in their 35 cigarette Cafe Racer. Funny part about this one is that they actually left the lower Keys, because that's where they live, down around Big Pine, drove the boat all the way up through the Keys, stayed one night here, and then joined us for the Poker Run. And another big cigarette huntress that has been on this Key West Poker Run a number of times, No ETA. Tom Clocker from Ohio. And Tom, you really stepped up your game on the card pickup with this lovely crew member, and she looks beautiful in red. There are 38 cigarette teams registered for this event. Out of those 38, 4 of them are the Huntress model, which up until now has been the flagship of their center console fleet until the 59 Toronto came along and said, "Move over, Huntress." And there are a lot of Nortecs on this poker run event. Let's say hi to David Gordon from Florida in this Nortec 390 Sport powered by Triple Mercury Racing 400s. And what a beautiful ride she is. Pierre and Megan Brosseau have been active with the Florida Powerboat Club for well over a decade. They're from Ontario, Canada, and they've had several boats along the way, but this is their newest and latest and greatest. And up until about a week or 10 days ago, this boat was nowhere near being completed. But they just took delivery of this Nortec 390 center console, and wait for it, 4 Mercury Racing 450s. You gotta love that. And let's welcome back Eric and Ashley Madsen from New York, who once attended this event with a 28-foot skater, but now they're in this beautiful 36 and enjoying it. And let's welcome for their very first poker run with the club, this is Michael and Nicole Lund, all the way from Massachusetts, Team Seagull Sizzler. Now I do have to ask them, what exactly does that name mean? Because it sounds kind of cool. I'm sure there's a story behind it. Well, I promise you that we will see a lot of Nortecs on this event, as we always do. But we're only going to see one of 56. This is Peter and Raymond Roberts from Double R Performance in Ontario, with Tommy Mason at the helm, and plenty of room for this huge crew, which numbers over 10 at least, and still plenty of room for more. It's powered by twin 650 horsepower Cummins turbo diesels. And back now for his second year in a row, this is David Rudiger from Ohio. He's actually attended the Key West event 4 times, but the first 2 he was on that big cigarette called Team No ETA. But you know how it is, guys. All it takes is a ride on somebody else's boat, and sooner or later you're going to be owning your own poker run dream machine, and this Mystic 42 is the perfect platform. Now there's a neat feature. He's got paddleboard racks up above. And let's say hi again to Andre Flotman, who has made this an annual tradition for several years now. He is a transplanted German who lives in Cape Coral, and he loves the boating lifestyle, and he's obviously very close to the Nortec gang. This is a 390 Sport with a lot of features, including the dual row seating and those Triple Mercury 400Rs. And keeping that skater family representation strong is Michael and Angie Goldbaugh from Alabama in this 36 skater Team Late Fees 2. Once you go cat, you may never go back. Their last 3 boats were all V-bottoms. And straight from the Nortec factory comes another brand new 390 Sport. This one belongs to Dave Raceback, who has done this event countless times, at least more than 10 that I can remember. He's got a lovely crew on board today, and a big crew at that, and that is why you want to own a center console, so you can bring all your friends, and in this case that includes Niels Johnson, co-founder of Nortec High Performance. One other feature of this boat is, wait for it, that's right, 4 Mercury Racing 450Rs. And a very special welcome now to Sam and Maria Galasso, their first event with Florida Powerboat Club, joined by their sons Sammy and Angelo, and they are celebrating their first poker run with this brand new 2020 Fountain 47, powered by the big stuff, Mercury Racing 1350, 1550 engines. But the real big feature of this boat is having Ed Champion at the helm. And another first timer, let's welcome Anthony Riccitti from Rhode Island in this 50-foot outer limits Team Stealth. And our final team today for this card pickup segment is Chris Ryder from New York and his 36-foot skater Team Crisis Management. This is one skater that is loud and proud. And I know you guys are anxious to see some aerial helicopter coverage, so let's do that. Here's our chopper crew in a fixed position doing some high-speed flybys. Off to the right now, take a closer look. That's Jared and Hardin from California in his 39 outer limits. And here's Kevin Kurkowski in his 35 Fountain, Grassy Ass. Nick and Heather Mitchell came all the way from Massachusetts with their 38 Fountain. And another Massachusetts team, this is Michael and Nicole Lund in their 42-foot outer limits, Seagull Sizzler. One of 3 hustlers on the run. This is Alan Chase and his 40 Hustler on the left. And here's Canadian Mark Stoddard and his 48 MTI. And Craig Hargrave showing off his brand new 42 MTI spooled up support. On the left is Roger and Pam Anderson in their 39 Nortec. And this is a 33 Deep Impact with Robert Lockyear's crew on board. Here's the Chartiers in their 39 Nortec center console. Dean Albanese and Al Sado in their 34 Nortec just got misted by Oyston Tenold in his 36 Supercat. Here comes Tom Clocker in his 42 Cigarette Huntress No ETA. I wonder how my red bikini girl's doing down there. And here comes Alex Pratt in his Nortec 450 center console all the way from Michigan. And back from Kansas, Matt Migliazzo in his 38 Donzi. Here comes Johan Anderson in his 39 Nortec. Let's welcome back John and Suzanne Stella in their 38 Statement, and Team Bulletproof there on the far side. And there's the Rorys, and time flies. Hans Blix in the Nortec, and here comes the Rudigers. There they go. Off to the left, that's David Beach in his 44 Utter Limits, and here comes Greg Bent in his 392 Nortec. Here comes Mike McClellan in his 37-foot Active Thunder, and there's George Ariano in his Fountain 42 Poker Run Edition. Here comes Tom Gorzes from Pennsylvania in his big 42 Huntress, Team OPA 2. And Ron Ricucci on the left in that Outer Limits, and here's Jesse Newman in that new 450 Nortec. Here's Michael McClellan on the left in the 38 Top Gun. The 35 Motion is Michael Tandoy from New York. And here's Brian Forehand in his 52-foot Outer Limits. Scott Conrad and his first mate Dustin in their 43 Midnight, Team Adiamo. Here's Bobby and Lynn Kieber in their 35-foot Cigarette, Team Big Bad and Blue. George and Kerry Olson from Texas in their 42-foot Fountain, followed by Jeb Bradshaw and his 42 Outer Limits with a full race canopy. And here's that big 527 Nortec powered by 1350s. This is Gary and Nancy Robertson in My Diamond. And you gotta love the Stooges in this 39 Nortec. The Arnolds are enjoying their 33-foot Deep Impact with twin outboards. 242 Mystics on the left, that's Frank Esposito. In the middle, that's Jim Smith. And in this Apache, that's Ed and Suri Garcia from Miami. Here's Chris Mattingly in his 46-foot Outer Limits, and there goes David Gordon in his 39 Nortec. And Sal Olivia in his Cigarette 42X, Escape from New York. Matt and Anne-Marie Raymond are enjoying their 48-foot Fountain powered by outboards, and there's Barry and Susie Hadlock in their 38 Statement. This 38 Fountain center console is Brad Williams from Grand Yachts in Pompano Beach. Blake and Angie Olson came from Texas with this 38-foot Cigarette Top Gun. And here's Kent Fiedler in his 42-foot Fountain. He's all the way from Canada. Justin and Aaron Lucas joined Philip Kyle on his 32 Sensation. And there's Bill Day in his 36 Glasstream. Stephen Sweet is the first Scout owner to ever do the Key West Poker Run. Interesting story on this Outer Limits center console. It's not registered for the event, but apparently it was built around 05 for Bob Russell. They finally finished the boat around 2012, and it was purchased by Matt Raymond, then by a different owner, and now it is finally owned by Stephen Miles Design. Well, that was fast and furious, but let's slow things down a little bit and backtrack to Grove Harbour, where we are going to finish up our poker card segment by getting up close and personal with our poker run teams that have traveled from all over the country to join us. And back dockside with our FPC girls, Mallory on the left and Kelly on the right, as we hand off to Team Cigarette. This is a 41 Cigarette center console, a special AMG edition powered by Quad Mercury 450s. Here's a much closer look at that super cool 41 Apache Ed and Suri Garcia from Miami. This is a complete resto mod with some serious power. And you've got to love this brand new MTI Ray and Joe Kowalik from Missouri, a brand new boat with Quad Mercury Racing 450Rs, and it's called Bikini Bottom. But girls, I see only one bikini on board. Come on, the boat is called Bikini Bottom. Nancy Robertson up on the bow of their beautiful Nortec 527 Team My Diamond. She got her lucky card, and just maybe we might see her at the Body Painting Expo tonight in Key West. A very limited number of these boats were ever built. This is the 42 Fountain Poker Run Edition, George Ariano from Ocala, Florida. And what a cool ride. It's almost like a sit-down racing cockpit. And Robert Lockyer landed in town long enough to enjoy the poker run on his 32-foot skater. It's powered by twin Mercury 400Rs. And keeping the Nortec present strong here is Johan Andersson from Sweden with his Nortec 390 center console, and he has equipped this boat with all the right stuff, including the twin row seating and Quad Mercury 400Rs. And a closer look at this 36 Glasstream Bill Day from Day's Boat Sales in Kentucky. It's got all of the cool stuff like that marine mat flooring up on the forward deck and twin Mercury Racing 400Rs. I think it's a great poker run starter boat. Lists out at about $245, but Bill says this one can be taken for $215. And his first poker run with Florida Powerboat Club, Michael Tandoy, all the way from New York, in this 35-foot Motion, Reckless Endangerment. And the boats just keep on coming. Guys, this is a huge poker run for us and probably the longest poker card handoff segment we have ever done in the history of the club. And of course, that means more quality time with our FPC girls, Mallory and Kelly, as they hand off our Poker Run bonus vouchers. And a big shout out to Tonka Simpson and his crew. They came back again all the way from Bermuda 2 years in a row, and they lost a few points on the last card off because they let the dude get the card, but she got it all by herself today. Yay! Okay, we're going to let you keep all those points. And I want to make a special welcome to Jeff and Marilyn Whitlock from Alabama also. Now, this 42 MTI is Team Do It, and they have had this MTI cat for, I'm guessing, close to 8 years, and they just keep on running strong. So thanks for making it back. We love having you guys. And I was very happy to see Max Eldridge and his team come back in this 36-foot Gladiator Team Superbad. Why? Well, because they are just a very spirited team, and the ladies are great entertainers, I promise you. Stay tuned, you'll see what I mean. And I really love this 42 cigarette Sal Olivia from New York. It's Escape from New York, and you got to love this paint job. He spent a lot of time and effort to make this boat right, redid it completely, and it's just got the most beautiful colors. Look how it shines. He's already won Best Paint and Graphics for this boat, but I think he's overdue and needs to win it again real soon. Right, Sal? And here's another one of our sponsor teams. This is Bernie Newhouse from New Jersey, Team Marine Unlimited. They are riding today in this Mystic 38 Cat, powered by Mercury Racing 450Rs. Michelle got the card safely, and she's got her GoPro in her hand, so she is making her own Poker Run video for the weekend. And this is the kind of spirit I love to see. Noel and Gretchen Speranza in their 44-foot concept, completely decked out in pirate gear. Not just the ladies, the guys too. Check this team out. They even have their team mascot, a little pirate booty for the ride. And I owe you guys a Most Spirited Team Award for sure. And a special welcome to this team too. Brandon Perkis, all the way from California, first time on the Key West Poker Run, and a brand new 34 MTI called Team Weed Whackin', and nothing can whack those weeds better than a set of Mercury 450Rs. And keeping those numbers strong for the teams that came all the way from California, which impresses the hell out of me, is Mike Bolin in Team Rosie, 39-foot Outer Limits GTX. What a beautiful boat, and I might say a beautiful crew member to pick up that poker card. Thanks for coming all this way to join us, guys. And here's a team that's registered to Fred and Judy Revis. That's because it's their 42 MTI, but they're in their 48 right now, and Sean and Kristen Lather are taken over by bringing the entire crew down on this amazing 42 MTI. And a beautiful lady in a pink bikini to finish off our last card segment, Bill Grigo from New York and Team Adjournment. He's done this event at least 5 years in a row out of the last 6, so big thumbs up to Bill and his crew. Nice to have you guys back. And this smart crew member had his camera ready for that last shot with the FPC girls. And speaking of the last shot with the FPC girls, let's say farewell to Kelly and Mallory here at Grove Harbour Marina. We're going to sign off. And I saw off in the corner Team Megawatts and a few other boats. We apologize to you, but our cameraman had to fly and get down to Key Largo. And we are going to rejoin our teams from the helicopter as we chase them towards Key Largo. So let's say hi once again to Stephen Sweet and his first mate Lori Kempker. They said it was a great event. They really enjoyed Stock Island Marina, and this is a first for the Key West Poker Run for them and also for us, because we've never had a 42 Scout on this event ever. And a very special welcome to Kent Fiedler from Canada, but not just from Ontario like the rest of the Canadians that are here. He's from Calgary, Alberta, and he trailered the boat himself. 7 days, 3,200 miles. This is a 09 42 Lightning powered by Mercury Racing 700s. Beautiful ride. Loved the rooster tail that throws out. And Kent is joined by his buddy Roger Panchuk, who flew in from Calgary for the Poker Run. And as the Canadian hockey players would say, 3 in a row, that's a hat trick. Yep, for Blake Olson, it was 3 in a row. He and his wife Angie attended the Emerald Coast Poker Run, the Bimini Fall Blast, and now again for Key West. Thanks, guys. And guys, all I can say is that if you're going to party crash the Key West Poker Run, well, be ready to be embarrassed, because this is an unregistered fountain. Guys, all you have to do is make the phone call or go online. It's right there. We'd love to have you. There were 19 registered fountain teams on the run. You guys could have made it 20, so please register next time. And speaking of fountain, this is one of our dealer teams, Grand Yachts from Pompano Beach. A brand new fountain, 38 center console, powered by triple Mercury 350 Verados. What a great looking boat, and it stood the test of time. I want to thank Brad Williams. We hope to see more new fountains on the future poker runs with the club. And another fountain, not a new fountain, but certainly a new concept in fountains. Matt and Anne-Marie Raymond from North Carolina, a 48-foot Express that was once powered by triple diesels, now powered by 5 Mercury Racing 400Rs. A great cruising machine with a lot of room in the cockpit. Look, they can bring all their friends now, and with those diesels gone, a giant storage well for all the luggage. And if you haven't fallen in love with this team yet, well, you're about to. Bodacious 2 is a 42-foot Mystic center console, and a couple that certainly enjoys the powerboating and the yachting lifestyle. Their other boat is a big Hatteras motor yacht, which they occasionally bring on the poker runs, but they've always got a very spirited team. And I have to say that I think this Mystic really changed their boating lifestyle. You know, they had a Formula Sport Cruiser before, which was a nice boat and nicely decked out, had a beautiful paint job, but it couldn't quite keep up with the speeds of the poker run and didn't give them quite what they were looking for to enjoy this whole poker run scene. And since they got this Mystic, they have been so active with the club, and they've had it everywhere. Our events down to the Florida Keys, we've done events on the west coast of Florida. They've even had it trailered all the way up to the Florida Panhandle to do the Emerald Coast Poker Run. And if you haven't figured it out now, guys, this is why they get so much helicopter time. So thanks to Neil and Cindy for putting on a great show and supporting our club. Nice to see these Donzi center consoles around. We haven't seen any built for years, but Chad McDonald is enjoying his 35 team My Time. Got a pair of Mercury Racing 350 throttles. Very patriotic with his U.S. flag flying high. And Ray Grimeau back again from New York. It's 4th year in a row with this 42-foot Mystic team. Big shot with an exclamation point. He's ready for a quad boat. So guys, if you're in the market for a Mystic, give the FPC office a call. Another new team to welcome, Steve Lyman and his crew all the way from Arizona. Super cool 39 Nortec with 4 Mercury Racing 400Rs. The team is called Nice Package. Well, it's pretty obvious why. This boat is laid out perfectly. And another quick flyby segment as we check out this Blackwater 43. Bruno and Rebecca Perret in their 39 Outer Limits, Team Megawatts. And our FPC safety boat, Joe Balistreri and his 33-foot Everglades. And it's the Lucas and Kyle show here in the 32-foot Sensation. And a textbook move as Bill Day moves his 36 Glasstream into the clean water for the money shot. And a big shout out to Miami-Dade Fire Rescue for joining the safety team. And this is going to really change the tempo of the show, guys, because we have got dozens and dozens of boats now arriving at Gilberts. So it's not going to be fast and furious, but it's going to be a lot of entertainment as we close in on our cruise. I told you guys to watch closely. You've got to pay attention on this show because anything can happen. I think this is one of my favorite parts of the day because arriving at Gilberts and cruising in through Jewfish Creek, well, first of all, as a producer, it gives me the opportunity to have some of the best footage as we've got now a GoPro that is hanging from a stick below the helicopter, giving us those cool wide angles. And then we get up to about 500 feet and look at back, way, way, way back in the distance there, back in Barnes Sound. You know, you probably have, I don't know, I'm guessing 40, 50, 60, count them 70, at least 70 or 80 boats all in just that one frame there with all of the teams arriving here. You know, Jewfish Creek is about a mile long, and we do prefer that everyone does it completely at idle speed when we have a big event. On the smaller events, it's not such a big deal. You can come down to a slower speed, but stay on plane as you make your way through Jewfish Creek. But if you do see anybody fishing or some small kayaks or paddle boards or anything like that, we urge you to absolutely come off plane and be respectful to your fellow boater, to some of the tourists that are out here, you know, just enjoying the wilderness. And some nice shots now of our official cigarette team. This is the AMG 41. Skip Raver on board along with Eric Christensen, the new president of cigarette racing. And we have a nice event coming up soon because we have decided to bring all the cigarette owners together at its very own exclusive lunch stop at the Playa Largo Resort in Key Largo. So we'll have more of that in the next show. And just to explain why, remember, there's 38 cigarettes registered altogether on this event. So for us to work together with Cigarette the Factory and plan an event just for cigarettes, well, that takes, you know, a good number of those boats out of the mix and over to another destination. Because look at Gilberts. It would be physically and logistically impossible to fit the entire fleet today at this location. So, even though they did a great job with the new docks, and it did make for a better docking situation overall, another factor is that the boats are just bigger, and it takes a lot of room to raft them all up for a big event like this. Jeff and Brenda Jacobs in their 36-foot Cigarette Gladiator Weir back. That's right, they were here last year. Nice to see them return. Not a lot of Gladiators in the club. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, you cigarette aficionados out there, but I think they stopped building this boat in around 04, 05, I'm guessing. This particular Gladiator is a 2004 model, but, take a close look at this boat. It's so clean and in perfect condition. And the same situation here for Jared Harden with this 39 Outer Limits. This is a 2006 model, 39 Quattro, Mercruiser 600s. The only difference here with the Outer Limits, of course, is that it's got all custom paint that's been updated, and I think they did a fantastic job with the boat. Now, on the other end of the coin, brand new would be Chris Mastronardi's 50 Outer Limits. It's so new you could still smell the paint drying. They just came out of the factory, and it is gorgeous. And a little more time here now with Bobby and Kendall Burke. We saw this boat earlier in the show, but not for very long. This is an original 2000 model factory twin step, and it was an F2 race boat raced by Trace Martin. And time to step it up to the big dogs now. That's right, Stephen Barker in that 42X, powered by Mercury Racing 1100s. So I mentioned earlier in the show that the cigarettes are all going to their own lunch location. That's why we just saw a whole wave of cigarettes heading on into Blackwater Sound. The same will go for Nortec. They have their own lunch location as well, which is sponsored by the factory. And that leaves, well, pretty much everybody else to dock up here at Gilberts. And many of the teams have the option of going straight on through right down to Ferro Blanco. So I think that what happens here is we dock as many boats as we can at Gilberts, and we're going to talk about that just in a little bit, because I know that for some of you, especially those that are doing this for the first time and made this Key West Poker Run their bucket list event, that I think stopping at Gilberts is one of the things, of course, that you want to do. And for those of us who have done it dozens of times, well, it's not such a big deal. We could probably afford to pass it by this one time and not have to deal with all of this docking, because there are so many boats and so many different styles of boats with different hull sizes and configurations, and some are low profile, some are high profile, some are stern drive, some are outboard. These are situations that make it difficult for rafting these days, and we have to come up with some simple guidelines that are going to make that work so much smoother. And another nice close overhead of Todd DePietris from New York and his 38-foot cigarette. And a little bit about the lack or absence of audio. I know you guys just saw Pure Evil go by, and you want to hear the roar of those engines. Well, remember, guys, we're shooting here with a drone. We could never get these shots with a helicopter because we'd be blowing these boats into each other and giving everybody a nice saltwater bath, and that wouldn't be too popular. So we get these shots with a drone. And many of you must be aware that drones don't really have audio. They have tiny little cameras that are good cameras, but they do not have the equipment or the ability to capture any great amount of audio. Now I know why they call it loaded gun here. The McLennans have 10 crew on board this Top Gun, which is comfortable with about 6. So these guys must really like each other. And it does kind of look like organized confusion here, guys. And indeed, in some ways, it really is. But so what? It's once a year that we have a poker run this big, and we can come up with some guidelines and some better ways to smoothly dock the boats. But you guys are all pretty good at the helm, and I trust all of you to stay out of trouble and not run into your fellow boater. Not too windy today, which is good, and it seems like everyone is just kind of being patient and being respectful, and I like to see that, and you guys all did a great job. There's no other way to get a shot like this than with a drone, and I think it's fantastic as we look down here on Jesse Newman and his crew in their brand new 450 Nortec. And one more time now with Gary and Nancy Robertson in this 52 Nortec. They actually call it a 527 model. Take a close look. Gary's driving from a center position at the helm. This was something Nortec came up with, and I think it was a great design. So let's say farewell for the time being to our factory teams, including the Cigarettes, who are going to Playa Largo for lunch, and to the Nortecs, who are going to Sundowners in Key Largo, as well as the rest of the teams that are heading down to Marathon. Meanwhile, I haven't seen much of the Midnight Express guys. It looks like they're already situated. I've been meaning to catch up with them, so let's go check out the scene at Gilberts.
Coach, I'm ready to play.
I think that all of the club members did an amazing job of getting docked in here, and it's really hard for us to have assistance. I mean, there's so many boats coming in at one time. We did have some staff that we brought in to help things out. The Florida Fish and Wildlife boat was actually in the water trying to direct traffic, and he just gave up after about a half hour. He was overwhelmed. I can imagine. But look, everyone's having a great time. They have the biggest tiki bar in the Keys here, and the girls are enjoying it. Oh, I love the slow-mo. But what a great place. You really get the feeling that you're in the Keys when you get here to Gilberts. And Maggie completely agrees with me on that. I mean, she ought to know. She's been coming here for 25 years. But the food is fantastic, and you can see it's a buffet line. Well, with this social distancing coming as the new normal, I don't know if we're going to be able to do it quite the same way, guys, but that's something to think about as we plan ahead for the Key West Poker Run 2020 edition. It's something that we have to accommodate if we want to have fun, if we want to do these events, these parties like we have at Gilberts and at the Conch Republic Seafood Company. Some of these things are just going to have to change a little bit. I'm sorry. I guess that's just the way we've got to look ahead if we want to keep these poker runs alive and enjoy our passion and, most importantly, really enjoy the camaraderie of all of our friends. So as you are all watching this video, and I know really getting excited about returning to Key West and coming on some, Florida Powerboat Club poker runs, just keep that in mind because we're going to have some new formats as we go forward. Looks like we're starting to break things up as that big Midnight Express, that P. DeMar model, Eric Glazer on board, one of our factory sponsors, who continue to support the Florida Powerboat Club on these poker run events. They've got a really great showing here at Gilberts. 4 beautiful brand new Midnight Express models. This is David Landsman's brand new 43 Open. It's called Team Game Changer. There's David organizing the girls for a photo shoot. And right alongside is another new member. This is David Carey in his brand new 37 Midnight and his crew with matching bikinis, all thanks to Eric Glazer, who supplied all of these white bikinis for the girls of Midnight Express. And a closer look at the transom of Hard 8s with those quad 400Rs, and alongside him that Al Mazzarella's 43 Open. It's got 5 400Rs, and what an incredible transom. That's the money shot for Transom Tuesdays. The only thing missing is 5 bikinis. Well, guys, I've got some not great news. We're way past the 33-minute mark for a half-hour show, so that means that we are going to sign off here of episode 7. And we promise that when we come back in episode 8, we're going to have more money shots like this 41 Apache owned by Ed Garcia of Miami, and continued coverage of our Key West Poker Run 2019 edition. Guys, this episode was absolutely packed with all kinds of highlights, but we promise just as much excitement as we go forward in episode 8. We'll have highlights of the Nortec Owners Lunch at Sundowners in Key Largo, as well as the factory-sponsored Cigarette Owners Lunch at Playa Largo Resort. And then we'll top it off with some scenic aerials from the helicopter as we chase the teams all the way to Marathon. It's all right here on Florida Powerboat Club's YouTube channel, and we urge you to share this episode with your friends. Be sure to subscribe and always click that notification bell so you get all of the updates every time a new episode is released. And we will stay with our commitment to give you at least 3 new episodes a week as we continue on this coronavirus lockdown. Meanwhile, you can check out the club website at flpowerboat.com for updates on upcoming events and membership. Also, follow us on social media. We are on Facebook at Florida Powerboat Club and on Twitter, as well as these Instagram pages. This is Stu Jones and Ryan McCoy in the FPC studios. Thanks for watching. Be safe out there. If you do get a chance to go boating, remember, guys, to respect your fellow boater and always wear your life jacket when the time is right. Thanks for watching, guys, and we hope to see all of you real soon. These YouTube episodes are brought to you by Mercury Racing Wide Open and by offleaseonly.com, the nation's used car destination. In addition to our 2020 series sponsors pictured here, we'd like to recognize all of these Key West 2019 feature sponsors as seen here on our official event masthead. This is the artwork for our official souvenir t-shirts, posters, and banners. These sponsoring partners play a vital role, and it's through their support that Florida Powerboat Club can produce this signature Key West Poker Run event.